Okay, hello. So today's lesson is going to be from Joshua. From Joshua. Last time we read about when Joshua took over as the leader, because Moses knew that his time was about up. So there was a changing of hands. And remember, he was told not to forget that God will never forsake him and that God will always go in front of him. That was in Deuteronomy 31. And if you want to read about Moses' death, that is Deuteronomy 34. It's only 12 chapters long. Okay, so as I said, if you want to read about Moses' death, Deuteronomy 31 or 34, and it's only 12 verses long. And the key thing that when I read over it, was that God buried him, and no one knows where he was buried. I know archaeologists have tried to find, and I don't know if they've ever found where he was buried or not. So now we're moving into Joshua. We're going to read Joshua from Joshua 2, and we're going to meet a character, or a person, not a character, a person. And her name is Rahab. She is a prostitute, and she's going to help. Okay, so Rahab was, as I said, was a prostitute. She's going to help the spies hide them when they go into Jericho. And what is important to know about her is if you look in Matthew 1:5, which is the family line of Jesus, she is one of, I think it was only 4 women that were mentioned. And not only was she one of the 4 women that was mentioned, she was also someone that, so not only was she one of the ones that was mentioned, she, that was the dog that moved my stuff this time. That's weird. That was really weird.
Yeah.
Our power went off. You saw that. And now the TV's turning on. Okay, that's just freaky. Okay, so she's one that yeah, she's mentioned, and and she was, since she was a prostitute, she was not blameless, and shows us God's character, that he takes and uses anybody for his mission. Okay. And it doesn't matter if you are broken, if you have a troubled past, he will find, he has a purpose for you. Okay, so everybody has a purpose. So the time period about right now is 1406 BC, and so let me read it to you. Okay, I'm sorry, the dog is pushing against me, pushing the computer against me. It says, then Joshua sent out his 2 spies from the Israelite camp at Acacia Grove. He instructed them, scout out the land on the other side of the Jordan River, especially around Jericho. So the 2 men set out and came to the house of a prostitute named Rahab and stayed there for that night. But someone told the king of Jericho, some Israelites have come here tonight to spy out the land. So the king of Jericho sent orders to Rahab, bring out the men who have come into your house, for they have come here to spy out the whole land. I apologize. My son is doing garbage right at this moment. Rahab had hidden the 2 men, but she replied, yes, the men were here earlier, but I didn't know where they were from. They left the town at dusk, as the gates were about to close. I don't know where they went. If you hurry, you can probably catch up with them. Actually, she had taken them to the roof and hidden them beneath bundles of flax she had laid out. So the king's men went looking for the spies along the road leading to the shallow crossings of the Jordan River. So she tricked him. And as soon as the king's men had left, the gates of Jericho were shut. So at that point, they used to have gates and stuff and walls around major cities for the simple fact of they wanted to keep, people that were not citizens out of their city. And it was like a way of protection also. Okay. Before the spies went to sleep that night, Rahab went up to the roof to talk with them. I know the Lord has given you this land, she told them. We are all afraid of you. Everyone in the land is living in terror, for we have heard how the Lord made a dry path for you through the Red Sea. Or they call it as a sea of, or Hebrews, they call it the Sea of Reeds. Reeds. Okay. And when you left Egypt. And we know what you did to Sihon and Og, the two Amorite kings east of the Jordan River, whose people you have completely destroyed. No wonder our hearts have melted in fear. No one has the courage to fight after hearing such things. For the Lord your God is the supreme God of the heavens above and the earth below. Now swear to me by the Lord that you will be kind to me and my family, since I have helped you. Give me some guarantee that when Jericho is conquered, you will let me live along with my father and mother, my brothers and sisters, and all their families. Okay. We offer our own lives as a guarantee for your safety, the men agreed. If you do not betray us, we will keep our promise and be kind to you when the Lord gives us the land. Since Rahab's house was built into the town wall, she let him down by a rope through the window. So she's like right there where the wall is. And so they could get out of the city really quickly. Escape to this hill country, she told him. Hide there for 3 days from the men searching for you. He knows the number 3 again. Number 3 is one of there's several numbers that they you hear over and over again, and 3 is one of them. 3 days for the cry, from Jesus's death and then resurrection. So, then when they have returned, you can go on your way. Before they left, the men told her, "We'll be bound by the oath we have taken only if you follow these instructions. When you come into the land, you must leave the scarlet rope hanging from the window through which you let us down. And all your family members, your father, mother, brother, and all your relatives must be here inside the house. If they go out in the street and are killed, it will not be our fault. But if anyone lays a hand on the people inside this house, we will accept the responsibility for their death. If you betray us, we are not bound by this oath in any way." So, hey, the deal's off. You go and tell, that we were here. Bye. We don't care. "I accept your terms," she replied, and then she sent them on their way, leaving the scarlet rope hanging from the window. The spies went up into the hill country and stayed there for 3 days. The men who were chasing them searched everywhere along the road, but they finally returned without success. Then the 2 spies came down from the hill country, crossed the Jordan River, and reported to Joshua all that had happened to them. "The Lord has given us the whole land," they said, "for all the people in the land are terrified of us." Totally different situation than when they originally went into Canaan and they were all like scared and everything. So totally different situation. They're like, you know what? We went in there. We got to talk to somebody. We found out that they're scared of us. It's time. Okay? It's time to go in there. It's time to get our promised land. Just so you know. Oh, and there is the dog. Just so you know. If you just, if you think about, Canaan is about the size of New Jersey, and it's about the size of New Jersey, and it contains parts of modern day Syria and Jordan. Just so you and in Israel. Hi, what you doing? besides bothering me? Okay. So it mentions in verse 6, get up here. If you're going to be up here, be up here. Okay. It says, actually, she had taken them up to the roof and hidden them behind bundles of flax she had laid out. So what flax is, it's harvested around March or April. The entire plant is harvested, bundled, and then left to dry in the fields or on rooftops like hers. And then they separate it with a comb, and then they spin it out and made it into a linen, and that's what they laid under. And then, as I said about Rahab being a prostitute, God, there is no sin that's outside of God's forgiveness. God will forgive you if you just let him. Okay. With that, when I decided to go and film, no one was bothering me. I start to film, everybody decides that they need to have some attention. Okay. With that, be blessed, and hope you have a great day. Bye.